The deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, at their villa in Santa Fe, New Mexico, initially seemed like a tragic event caused by old age and illness. However, when the FBI got involved, the investigation quickly revealed a horrific tragedy.
For the toxicology to come back, so that'll help her make her decision on what the cause and manner is. It could be...
The sprawling villa, where Hackman had enjoyed his final years, turned out to conceal a shocking secret right beneath the old wooden floors. When agents began dismantling the floorboards to search for clues, they anticipated a routine forensic examination. But as soon as the first planks were removed, a horrifying scene unfolded, causing even the most seasoned investigators to pale. In the end, what had been hidden for years beneath this villa? Was this just a natural death case, or was there a conspiracy waiting to be revealed? What the FBI was about to discover could change the entire course of this investigation. 1. Gene Hackman's Santa Fe Villa. Gene Hackman, one of Hollywood's greatest actors, chose Santa Fe as his home in his later years. This choice not only reflected his personal preferences but also demonstrated his passion for architecture. Santa Fe is famous for its picturesque natural landscapes, majestic mountains, and fresh air, all of which attracted Hackman to this place. Initially, he merely visited the area while working on film projects, but over time, he found himself drawn to the beauty and tranquility of this land. This prompted Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, to seek a suitable home to settle down permanently. The property they chose was not a readily available, magnificent mansion, but an old building from the 1950s, abandoned and severely dilapidated. Yet, with his artistic eye and creative thinking, Hackman recognized the potential of the place. He collaborated with local architecture firm Studio Architectura, along with two talented architects Harry Dapel and Stephen Samuelson, to completely transform the space. Hackman's vision was not just simply renovating a house, but creating a living space that reflected his own style and personality. Spanning 12 acres, the house sits on a hill covered with pinyon pine trees, just a few miles north of downtown Santa Fe. This special location provides the house with a 360-degree panoramic view, extending to the distant Colorado mountains. This was one of the main reasons Hackman decided to invest in this property. Recognizing the limitations of the original architecture, he and the architects embarked on a large-scale renovation process. Samuelson recalled that the house was initially in a very rundown condition. However, its foundation was very solid, which facilitated the renovation. Hackman and Arakawa did not intend to maintain the traditional Pueblo style of the region. Instead, they wanted to blend various architectural styles to create a unique living space. Therefore, their home is a fusion of Pueblo, New Mexican colonial, and Spanish Baroque architecture. This creates a style that is both antique and rustic, yet still provides a sense of warmth. One of Hackman's boldest decisions was to demolish 90% of the roof to raise the ceilings to 6 meters, creating a vast space, giving the feeling of a classic Great Hall. He also had many walls removed to create open spaces, helping the house connect between areas instead of being divided by too many rooms. A particular detail was that Hackman wanted the house to bear the marks of time. He requested the walls to have water stain marks as if they had leaked for many years, even requesting to darken some plaster areas to make them look smoke-stained. This made many people wonder, was this simply an artistic style, or was it Hackman's way of hiding something? It wasn't just about aesthetic changes, some elements in Hackman's design choices raised eyebrows. He insisted that the new beams be burned, beaten with chains, and repeatedly painted to create a weathered, old look. The tin ceilings were handcrafted by a local artisan, specifically commissioned by Hackman. Furthermore, he was deeply involved in the demolition and renovation process, personally overseeing every minor detail. A significant question arose: was there something within the house's structure that Hackman wanted to conceal? Or was he masking some kind of secret? 2. Strange life after retirement. Despite spending a large part of his life in Hollywood, Gene Hackman never truly immersed himself in the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry. Upon retiring in 2004, he completely withdrew from the limelight, choosing a quiet and secluded life in Santa Fe. This wasn't merely a place for him to enjoy his old age, it was a distinct world where he and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, lived according to unique habits that few understood. Hackman maintained a regular yet peculiar daily routine. He would wake up early for walks on the deserted trails around his villa, sometimes spending hours simply observing the sunset or the changing sky. Afterwards, he would retreat to his art studio, where he would spend the entire day engrossed in his colorful paintings, which strangely featured dark and suggestive themes. In the evenings, instead of socializing with friends or attending social events, he and Betsy would often sit in their spacious living room, almost without any lights on, just the flickering candlelight and soft classical music playing. They rarely interacted with their neighbors, and their house gradually became an enigma in the area. Despite living in seclusion, Hackman maintained an odd connection with the local community. He would appear at certain art events but always kept his distance, shying away from camera lenses. Some Santa Fe residents recounted that Hackman would sometimes sit for hours at a small cafe near the central square, merely watching people pass by without uttering a word. He also had a habit of quietly donating to art organizations but always anonymously, not wanting any recognition. However, the tranquil life of Hackman and Arakawa came to a mysterious end in 2025. Their deaths not only perplexed the public but also triggered a bizarre investigation. Unusually, the FBI immediately became involved, something rarely seen in the death of a celebrity when there were no clear signs of foul play. What made the case even more peculiar were the discoveries inside the villa. Forensic experts used thermal scanning technology and detected anomalies beneath the floorboards. When some areas were dismantled, chilling hypotheses began to surface. Could there be a secret room hidden for years? A safe containing important documents that Hackman wanted to keep secret? Or perhaps even traces of an unsolved crime from the past? Furthermore, the FBI's involvement only amplified the mystery. Typically, investigations into the natural deaths of celebrities do not require federal agency intervention. So what prompted the FBI to act? Were they searching for something more significant than the cause of Hackman and Arakawa's deaths? What secrets hidden beneath the villa's floors might reveal? These were the questions fueling public curiosity. 3. Secrets beneath the villa. According to initial reports, the FBI used thermal scanning technology and discovered unusual spots beneath the floor. This prompted them to dismantle certain areas to search for anything that might be buried underneath. Hypotheses about a secret room, a hidden safe, or even confidential documents quickly emerged. Some speculated that Hackman might have concealed something significant in his house, something the FBI was trying to uncover. When news of Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa's death spread, the public immediately raised numerous hypotheses. Initially, investigators believed it was simply a death from natural causes. However, the appearance of the FBI and their subsequent dismantling of the floor made the case bizarre and deeply mysterious. Why would the FBI become involved in an investigation of a death that initially showed no signs of crime? What was truly happening inside this villa? One of the initial indicators that led the FBI to delve deeper into the investigation was the anomalies detected using thermal scanning technology. Forensic experts observed temperature variations in certain areas beneath the floor. This could suggest the presence of a hollow space or a concealed area underneath. Notably, the locations of these thermal anomalies were not consistent with the original blueprints of the house, leading investigators to suspect that Hackman had made secret alterations without anyone's knowledge. According to an internal source from the investigating agency, some areas within the villa showed signs of reinforced or repaired flooring that was inconsistent with the rest of the structure. This fueled speculation that there might be a secret storage space or even a hidden underground room concealed beneath the villa. It is important to note that the villa's renovation period fell in the late 1980s, a time when Gene Hackman was at the peak of his career. This was also a period when he consistently received major awards, starred in blockbuster films, and had a massive income from Hollywood. Some documents indicate that the villa was designed by a renowned architect who had undertaken numerous projects exclusively for the elite. However, strangely, no documents mention the construction of secret tunnels. According to the original construction records, the villa only included 2 floors above ground and a regular basement used for storage. It must be understood that Gene Hackman's villa was not an ordinary house. It was designed in a traditional adobe style blended with modern elements, deeply imbued with the characteristics of the American Southwest. The thick clay walls provided excellent insulation, keeping the house cool in the summer and warm in the winter. Adobe-style houses typically have very few windows and doors, ensuring maximum privacy for the owners. However, inside the villa, there were some unusual elements: a complex room system with many small rooms connected by narrow corridors, raising suspicions about the potential existence of secret rooms or hidden passages. In the rare instances when Hackman's villa was mentioned in the press, there was not much information about underground structures or any special details. This was in stark contrast to many other celebrities who often shared details about their homes in the media. Another noteworthy point is the special ventilation and escape system. According to some unconfirmed sources, the house had peculiar emergency exits that did not lead to the outside but downwards, underground. These details further heightened suspicions about the existence of secret tunnels beneath the villa. Rumors about underground tunnels in Gene Hackman's villa did not originate from official sources, but mainly from maintenance staff and people who had worked in the villa, who mentioned areas they were not allowed to enter, especially the underground areas or basements. In addition, the house's structure and the absence of a security system also fueled the hypothesis that Hackman might have had another method of protection, such as escape tunnels. Although there is no clear evidence in the investigation report, when compared to other celebrity villas, it can be seen that owning a secret tunnel system is not uncommon. Previously, many famous figures in Hollywood were also rumored to have underground tunnels in their homes, serving various purposes. Michael Jackson is a prime example. In his Neverland mansion, it was rumored that multiple tunnels existed, allowing him to move around undetected. Former billionaire Howard Hughes, a figure with an extremely secretive lifestyle, was also believed to have built a system of underground passages to evade the media and ill-intentioned individuals. Elvis Presley was also rumored to have had a tunnel system at Graceland, his famous mansion, allowing him to move discreetly without anyone knowing. Even some old villas of politicians or businessmen have been found to have underground tunnel systems, serving for escape in emergency situations or storing valuable assets. With the increase in burglaries and threats against celebrities, it is not surprising that many in the upper class have sought to protect themselves with such architectural solutions. If Gene Hackman truly had a secret tunnel, it is also possible that it was built a long time ago, perhaps a hidden passage connecting to another area within the grounds or even to a nearby location. The problem is that there are no witnesses or architectural documents confirming its existence, leaving the story of underground tunnels in Hackman's villa still just a rumor. If a secret tunnel system truly exists beneath the villa, the question becomes, what purposes could it have served? One of the initial theories discussed is that the tunnel might have been used as an escape route for a killer. With its sturdy construction, the tunnel is not only an impressive structure but could also act as a secret passage for anyone wanting to enter or exit the villa undetected. According to investigating experts, the tunnel entrance was cleverly disguised, and the opening mechanism could only be activated from the inside. This raises the possibility that the killer may have known about the tunnel beforehand and used it to sneak into the villa, leaving no signs of forced entry on the main doors or windows. The scene in Hackman and his wife's bedroom showed no signs of struggle or forced entry, further increasing the likelihood that the perpetrator may have arrived and left silently through the tunnel. However, the biggest question here is, how did the killer know about the tunnel, a secret unknown to even most of Hackman's inner circle? Could someone from the past have been involved with this tunnel and then returned to commit the crime? And if so, what was their real motive? These are questions that investigators have yet to answer. A second hypothesis, considered by some scientists, is the possibility that the tunnel contained hazardous materials, such as toxic gases or radioactive substances, and that this silently affected Hackman and his wife's health over a long period. According to investigators, the tunnel's ventilation system was still functioning well, but the possibility that hazardous substances may have leaked from a source within the tunnel cannot be ruled out, such as from equipment or materials stored there. Some initial forensic reports showed no signs of acute poisoning in Hackman and his wife's bodies, but this does not exclude the possibility that they were exposed long-term to hazardous substances that their bodies could not process. Experts have hypothesized that if the tunnel had been used for scientific or industrial purposes, the accumulation of dangerous chemicals or radioactive materials would be entirely possible. It is worth noting that although Hackman and his wife lived in the villa for many years, they rarely went down to the basement. However, if a small amount of toxins were released into the air or through the tunnel's ventilation system, this could still cause serious effects on their health without leaving obvious signs. This hypothesis also raises questions as to whether the tunnel had been used by an organization or individual before Hackman owned the villa, and if so, what its purpose was. Another, more audacious hypothesis is that Hackman and his wife's deaths might be related to a major secret he was keeping in the tunnel, and their deaths were a result of this secret being exposed. The items found in the tunnel, from black and white photos to faded documents and outdated electronic devices, all suggest that Hackman may have been storing important information or items that he didn't want anyone to know about. Some analysts suggest that Hackman may have inadvertently discovered something related to a major organization or event in the past, and he used the tunnel as a place to protect this information. However, his keeping this secret for so many years without any public action also raises questions about his true motives. Some believe that the discovery or threat of disclosure of this secret may have led to his and his wife's deaths. Could someone have known about the existence of the documents or items in the tunnel and sought to silence Hackman to keep the secret? Or was Hackman himself, for some reason, becoming a target of a larger conspiracy from which he could not escape? However, regardless of the purpose the tunnel might have served, the most crucial point remains whether it is connected to the deaths of Hackman and his wife. If someone used this passage to enter and exit the villa undetected, it would be a significant detail that could completely alter the direction of the investigation. 4. New discoveries surrounding Hackman's death. From the moment news of the incident spread, many questioned whether outside interference had led to the deaths of Hackman and his wife. Some initial theories suggested they might have been murdered due to some conspiracy or succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning, a common cause in mysterious deaths in private residences. However, after conducting forensic examinations and investigating the scene, the Santa Fe Police Department confirmed that there were no signs of unusual intrusion or traces of a struggle. More importantly, test results also ruled out the possibility of Hackman and his wife being poisoned by carbon monoxide. This was crucial information as carbon monoxide poisoning can be lethal silently, leaving no clear traces, causing victims to lose consciousness before they can call for help. With this eliminated, the theory of a poisoning plot also gradually lost its persuasiveness. After a series of speculations and hypotheses, the forensic examination and investigation reports from the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office finally issued an official conclusion. According to the latest information from the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator, both deaths were not related to a murder or a poisoning as many had previously speculated. Rumors regarding the possibility of carbon monoxide poisoning were also dismissed after investigation results showed no signs of gas leaks or any toxic substances in the couple's living space. According to the investigative agency's report, Gene Hackman passed away on February 18, 2025, while his wife, Betsy Arakawa, had died around February 11, 2025, 7 days prior to Hackman. On the afternoon of February 26, 2025, when the couple was discovered at their Santa Fe villa, their bodies showed significant signs of decomposition due to the high temperature inside the house and the hot, dry environmental conditions. Additionally, another crucial clue that helped solidify information about Hackman's time of death was heart rate data from his health tracking device. According to records collected from this device, Hackman's heart rate completely stopped on February 18, confirming that he passed away on that day. Furthermore, police also checked the history of last email exchanges between Gene Hackman and relatives, confirming that Betsy Arakawa may have passed away around February 11, a week before Hackman's death. A surprising discovery in the investigation was that Betsy Arakawa's cause of death was not heart disease or any cause related to Gene Hackman, but in fact due to hantavirus infection, a rare virus with a high mortality rate. This virus is mainly concentrated in the western states of the U.S. such as New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah, and is primarily spread through the waste of rodents. According to medical experts, this virus can survive in the air when people clean barns, sheds, or items containing dust contaminated with rodent excretions. This disease initially presents with flu-like symptoms, but when it progresses, the virus invades the lungs, causing severe respiratory distress syndrome, leading to death. The mortality rate for people with hantavirus ranges from 30% to 50%, an alarming figure. In Betsy Arakawa's case, contracting this virus caused her to gradually weaken, lose the ability to care for herself, and ultimately be unable to seek timely help. Notably, Gene Hackman did not test positive for the hantavirus in the forensic examination results. The hypothesis proposed was that he may not have been exposed to the source of infection, or his body had a unique immune mechanism against this virus. Some medical experts suggested that hantavirus is not directly transmitted from person to person, but mainly through inhalation when exposed to virus-containing dust particles. Therefore, it is possible that Betsy Arakawa was exposed to the source of infection earlier, while Hackman was not. Another hypothesis is that Hackman may have noticed his wife exhibiting symptoms of illness but did not realize the severity of it, and instead of taking her to the hospital, he stayed home to care for her. If this is true, it means Hackman witnessed his wife pass away without being able to do anything to help. The autopsy results also help us eliminate some initial theories, such as Hackman being murdered by his wife, or the two of them inhaling carbon monoxide. However, another hypothesis has emerged regarding the cause of Hackman's death after his wife passed away. Netizens have questioned whether Gene Hackman may have died from psychological shock upon discovering his wife's death. This phenomenon is called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, also known as broken heart syndrome. This is a rare condition, but it can occur when a person experiences excessive emotional shock, causing acute heart failure without any pre-existing serious cardiovascular disease. Although this seems to fit Hackman's circumstances, data from his heart rate monitoring device shows that he did not pass away immediately after his wife's death, but 7 days later. Typically, people with broken heart syndrome will react almost instantly to the emotional shock. This makes this hypothesis less plausible compared to the pre-diagnosed heart condition as the primary cause. 5. FBI investigation direction. The mysterious deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife have raised a series of questions that remain unsatisfactorily answered to this day. What particularly raises suspicion among the public and experts are not only the unusual details at the scene, but also how the investigating authorities handled the case. In the weeks following the discovery of Hackman and his wife's bodies, very little information was officially released. This has led to many hypotheses that the authorities, including the FBI and local law enforcement, may be withholding important information, fueling speculation about a larger secret behind this case. Amidst bizarre details such as the existence of a secret tunnel beneath the villa, undocumented records, and unusual items at the scene constantly emerging, the government's silence has not only failed to quell public concern but has also intensified skepticism. The question is this simply caution in the investigation, or is something being concealed? One of the most contentious points is why the FBI has not released any information related to the evidence collected from Hackman's villa. In complex cases or those involving celebrities, investigating agencies usually tend to disclose at least some basic information to avoid unnecessary speculation. However, in this case, the responses from the FBI have been limited to procedural answers. The investigation is still ongoing. This has led to a series of speculations from various parties. A common hypothesis suggests that the authorities are concealing information because this case may be related to a powerful organization or a secret project. Security and intelligence researchers suggest that in the past, cases involving underground tunnel systems or sensitive documents have often had tightly controlled information, which may be happening in the Hackman case. Some forensic analysis experts suggest that the authorities' silence may be related to the nature of what was found in the secret tunnel beneath Hackman's villa. Although official investigation reports have not mentioned this detail, leaked rumors indicate that old documents, outdated electronic devices, or items with signs of encoding may exist in the tunnel. If these pieces of evidence truly exist, they may contain information about a past covert operation, potentially dangerous if made public. Some speculate that Hackman may not have been the builder of this tunnel, but rather the inheritor of a pre-existing underground structure, possibly related to a secret organization or an unrecorded historical network of activities. The prolonged silence from the FBI has also raised concerns about the public's right to access information. Some investigative journalists have attempted to use the Freedom of Information Act, FOIA, to request documents related to the case, but all requests have been denied on the grounds that the investigation is still in the evidence-gathering phase. This is unusual in cases of celebrities, where information about autopsy results or crime scene status is often released early to prevent the spread of false theories. Some legal analysts question the legality of this information handling, arguing that keeping the entire case secret may violate the principle of transparency in the judicial system. Not only the public, but even those who used to work with Gene Hackman are also puzzled by the government's handling of the case. A longtime colleague of his stated, Hackman was a private person but not the type to be involved in dangerous secrets. The government keeping all information about his death confidential makes me wonder if something bigger is being hidden. Such reactions further complicate the case, and suggest the possibility that there are important aspects of Hackman's life that even his closest associates were unaware of. All of this creates a complex picture of the events surrounding Gene Hackman's death. Although the authorities have not yet released any official conclusions, the details revealed from the investigation have amplified speculation that this case may be related to a larger secret that the government does not want to disclose. The public and independent investigators are still closely following the case, awaiting an official answer. Although initial forensic results have ruled out common theories such as murder or carbon monoxide poisoning, the case is not entirely closed. According to sources from the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office and the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator, authorities are still reviewing additional evidence and may release more information in the future. This raises the question, are there still unclarified details? In particular, although the FBI has not officially confirmed their involvement in the investigation, the possibility of this agency or another federal unit being involved in a later stage remains open. If any new findings indicate that the case has criminal elements, it is possible that higher-level investigative agencies will step in to ensure every aspect is thoroughly examined. Investigating a death with no clear signs of crime but with many unusual details is a major challenge for law enforcement. In Gene Hackman's case, police must rely on various factors to accurately determine what happened in his final days. Currently, the police have not issued a final conclusion on the case. If no new evidence emerges in the near future, the case may close with the conclusion that Hackman and his wife died of natural causes. However, if any new details emerge, especially from additional forensic results or new witness testimonies, the direction of the investigation may change completely. The public is still closely following the latest developments in this case. If the police confirm that no criminal element is involved, the case may end with the conclusion that Hackman and his wife passed away due to separate health issues. But if there is evidence of third-party intervention, this could become a surprising case, completely changing how we perceive the life and death of Gene Hackman. The biggest question remains, is this case truly just a natural death, or is there still a secret yet to be revealed? Further findings from the investigation will be the decisive factor in remembering Gene Hackman as a cinematic legend who passed away from old age, or as a victim of a larger mystery that no one can decipher. What do you think about this case? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to not miss the latest analysis.